Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Dirt 3. Let's start Season 4 here. Now, unless something just gets... We'll just take this car, I guess. Unless something gets really difficult in Season 4, I really am questioning why we have a Season 4. I kind of question why we even had a Season 3. Just because, you know... What can I say? It's so many races. When I look at the save file, I've done 190 last time I loaded. I'm probably over 200 now. We're doing Michigan here, which Michigan I think is the same as Smelter. I think it's the same area, but maybe it isn't. It's weird to call one area Michigan and one area Monaco and one area Shibuya, and then have one just called Smelter. Because there's no city to my knowledge named Smelter, nor country.
Keep right over crest. Easy left.
And this is just a bunch of trees, and all the trees are pretty much exactly the same. It's actually pretty obvious once you start looking at the trees.
Medium right. Into open hairpin left.
Of course, human beings aren't particularly
medium right.
Trained in their brains to pay attention to trees, unless that's their specialty. So it's easy to feel like you're in a forest and instead of a area full of the exact same clone of things. And there is some variety here. There's no doubt there's at least 3 different styles of trees in this forest, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was not much more, maybe 8, and they spin them and they rotate them and they make them look different a little bit, but and see, there's this plugin for Unreal Engine called Speed Tree. I think it's actually for several engines that will just really quickly place trees in an area, and then from that point you're supposed to customize how you want it to look. And you could probably use something like that to start with a forest and then carve out a track in the middle. Well, I'm not seeing any of the elements of Smelter here, so apparently Michigan is a different location, unless it's way over there in the corner. Oh no, this is the same area.
Medium left long, downhill into.
It's a big area.
Easy right into easy left long. Medium right through gate into. Easy left over crossroads onto gravel.
Continue the race. I assume we're still in first place.
Easy right over crest into. Medium right cut into.
I'll never know because I started in first position. So it won't tell me until the end. There's Smelter at the very end there. Moving on to the next race. I spent about 30 minutes at the final open world DC parking lot area looking for hidden packages and trying to do tricks and stuff, and by the end I couldn't even be bothered to find all the collectibles, the secret packages. I'm so done with this game. And I've had this experience with a lot of games where it's just like they've stretched themselves so thin that before they even see the credits, the game over screen, I am ready to leave. Is it possible that I am a less patient gamer than the average video game player? Possible,
Medium right,
yes.
through gate.
Probable, no. Because, like, the statistics
Easy
seem
left,
to
over crest,
imply
easy
that
right.
less than
40,
half of
jump
people
into, medium
ever
left,
finish a
60.
game. At all. Any
Easy right
game.
onto gravel, 60.
Well, any
Over
particular
crest,
game.
into medium right, 60.
So, if half the people that play Dirt 3 didn't finish it
60, easy
at all,
right,
and I'm going to finish it, I'm more
medium left,
I'm more
long.
patient than half their
40,
player base.
medium
Uh,
left, keep in.
This is an interesting cars we're looking
medium
at.
right, into.
They have like tire flaps
Easy
on
right,
them or something,
easy
mud
left,
flaps on
onto
them or
tarmac.
something.
Easy left, tightens.
But
Medium right onto gravel.
I really wish, particularly for this, since the races are so
Easy right,
similar
keep
to
in.
each other, they just ended
left,
at
long.
season 2 and left us wanting more.
Easy
Particularly
right.
since you know that the
Crest,
multiplayer
jump
works,
into
and we
medium left,
found out that the
tightens.
multiplayer actually does still work today, which is kind of amazing
Medium
considering
left, over crest.
that it's no longer
40,
for
jump,
sale,
left to finish.
and I assume those servers are going to get shut down as soon as Dirt 4 happens and comes out. That is my guess is why they're doing that, is that they want to take it off for sale, not irritate anybody that just bought Dirt 3 and wanted to play it online, and then shut down the servers. But yeah, I really wish they had left me wanting more instead of boring me with options.
Open hairpin right. Medium left. 40. Jump, downhill. Easy right, keep in. Easy left, cut.
It's an odd way to
Right,
review a
long, over
game,
crest.
because at the end of the day, I just
Medium
have to
left,
say,
cut, into.
it for what it
Easy
gives
left, over
you
crest.
is whatever it
60.
gives you, it's good. It
Jump.
just doesn't give you
Into
anything you
medium
want.
left, tightens.
It's like
Medium right.
if I
Jump.
walked into a lumber
right,
store
onto
and I
tarmac.
had no
Medium
woodworking
left, through gate.
knowledge or ability at all. There may be some high quality
Medium right,
lumber
into.
available at that hardware
Easy
store,
left,
but
into.
if I
Medium
don't
right,
know how to
over
drive
crest.
a nail or hold a hammer, it's not something I would
Medium left,
want,
very
nor
long.
something I could appreciate. And I think there definitely is a
Into
level
medium
of
right,
I don't
long.
appreciate this, as I'm not a huge rally car racing fan who's been
left.
following the Dirt series, the Colin McRae rally
Medium right,
series
through
of
gate,
games
tightens, then open.
for many years.
Into easy left, over crest.
And
Easy
they
right.
probably
40,
lost their
jump,
way a little
into,
bit
medium left.
by only selling this game or building
60,
this game to
easy
be
right, on
approachable
travel.
by people who already knew the Dirt
Easy
series.
left, over crest, into medium right.
And every time you have a new game, you need to
60,
assume that there's
easy right.
you want to have new players
left,
be able to
long.
play it, and I don't feel like new players really can play this
40.
game and know what's going on. They
Medium
can
left.
certainly play it and win on
Medium
casual
right,
because
into.
that it's really easy.
Easy right.
But
easy
that's
left, onto
kind of the
tarmac.
laziest way to fix that issue, is just to make casual really
Easy left, into
simplistic.
hard left. Medium right, onto
I
gravel.
really wish there was some story here too. That's what I think about when I
Medium
hear
left, keep
casual,
in.
is that
Easy right, keep in.
I'd like to just have
Easy left,
a
long.
story happen as I'm winning very
Easy
simple
right.
races.
Crest, jump into
and
medium
since-
left, tightens.
Since there is no story, even when you're playing on casual, you're not really
Medium
acting
left, over
casually.
crest, into
You're
easy
still
right.
very much holding down the accelerator the whole time and controlling the steering somewhat with
medium left.
assistance.
Hard right.
So it's hardly I can put down the controller for 5 minutes
Medium left, over crest.
and listen to a dialogue
Medium right.
cutscene happen, or put minimal
Medium
input
left,
in.
into.
You're still
Easy
very
right, keep
actively
in.
playing. So it's the
60,
wrong
overflowing
term
finish.
It should have just been called easy. But I guess the idea is that easy is now an insulting word. But I mean, that's exactly what it is. It is very, very easy. Let's keep moving through this race. Hurry up. I find it strange that this specific car has these giant red mud flaps on them, but it seems like all the cars are getting those. Perhaps that's like a rule. You have to have mud flaps so you don't kick up dirt and mud at other players. That'd be a pretty nasty trick to purposely kick up mud on the windshield of the people behind you. But I imagine it happens every now and then, and that's why windshield wipers were invented.
Medium right into easy left onto tarmac. 40, medium right.
I suppose if you kicked up rocks, you might break a windshield.
Crest,
But
jump into easy left, easy right.
they must have some very special windshields in races anyways to make sure that they
Into easy left.
don't
Keep right into medium
shatter
left
or crack too much too easily.
long. Medium right, tightens over crest. Medium left long, downhill into.
Another boring
Easy right,
race.
into easy left.
I'm just sitting here yawning.
Medium right,
Maybe
through
this
gate into.
game will finally help me
Easy
with
left
my
cut, over
insomnia,
crossroads, onto
which
gravel.
I've been suffering for the past, quite badly for the past few days, well, my entire life really, but particularly the past few
Crest,
days.
flat, 60.
That maybe it'll just bore me
Easy right,
into
over crest,
going to
into
sleep
medium
early,
right.
or when I'm
Easy
supposed
left,
to.
keep in. Over flying finish.
Car? I'm not sure if that was a glitch or if that guy intentionally was placed there for me to crash on into him. That was weird. That was very, very weird. We have not seen that.
Well, you made that look easy, didn't you?
Hey, that's what happens when you got an awesome driver behind the wheel.
We haven't seen any like fade in or fade out of cars. That's a good aspect. Still at level 30, so no more rep can be collected. Now on the multiplayer, I suppose more rep can be collected. So we need 10 more to unlock this, 70 more to unlock this. Let's see if these head-to-head tournaments are really short. And then the Land Rover, this Landrush one, that has a Gymkhana attack, so we'll never get that to gold. But through this hard struggle, I imagine there's a decent chance we'll unlock this final small triangle. I don't think there's gonna be any more though. If I'm just gonna guess, I think that we are going to get what we get now and not have any more open world areas where we do
You've been doing so
tricks
well in
and
head-to-head racing
not have any
recently.
more
No need to break
seasons,
that streak now.
not have any more tournaments. Now I'm hoping this is really short. How many times have we done this race particularly though? It's been a lot of times.
60 through building. 120 uphill.
This is the snow area that
Crest
we've
into
seen
medium left, very long,
multiple
camber.
times,
Keep in.
and it has the Winter X Games symbol on it this time, and
80.
sometimes it doesn't have that, but this track doesn't change, I don't think.
Medium right into.
In fact, I'm not sure any of these
Open
tournament
hairpin right.
runs are any different from what we've done before. So is this how Dirt 4 is going to sell itself too? Is it going to repackage and have you do the same race multiple times? I would heavily guess that is the truth. That
Easy left.
it's more trickery than triumph to coin a phrase.
120 uphill.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope Dirt 4 has like a good collection of races that are very varied, and they learn something from Dirt 3. Maybe that is why Dirt 3. I can only speculate why Dirt 3 isn't available for sale, but maybe it is because they're not too happy with what they did. If that's the case, I don't. The way they're selling Dirt 4 doesn't seem like they're making much of a change, but maybe they are. We'll have to wait till it comes out to find out for certain, but it's... I can swear we've done that race at least 8 times. At least 8 times. And see, from what I'm looking at, the only difference here is they've got us in this special car, which maybe all of these tournaments were unlocked through DLC. I don't think so, but maybe. So we're driving this special car for Abu Dhabi. And however, the cars on casual don't feel any different. So instead of having the ability to have a custom car that I can paint myself, I'm given this tournament. We'll have to drive this special car that's covered in advertisements. And I don't really appreciate the advertisements. There's a difference, a vast difference between a real world advertisement and trying to do realism. In the example of on the edges of these tracks there are some ads, yes. But in the edges of tracks in real race cars there are ads. And I guess there are also ads on the car. So my only real complaint on that argument would be if they added ads that didn't exist in the real world, like during the loading screens or something, which we're not seeing. So that was a stupid argument to make, because everything we're seeing in this game is very realistic of ad placement in racing cars. So let me propose a better argument. I don't appreciate when I'm advertised to, period. And I certainly don't like trying to watch a sporting event and seeing the sides of the racetracks and all over the cars being smeared with advertising. And I guess racing in particular is really bad about sponsorships and such. I very, very rarely appreciate being advertised to. Let's just get down to it. Even when I'm watching YouTube, even knowing that other YouTubers need that ad revenue and I should watch their ads to support them, I don't have enough time or patience for it. I wish I had enough money to justify paying $10 a month for YouTube Red, and I wish YouTube Red was a better value than it is. And then I wouldn't have to watch the ads, and I'd still be supporting YouTubers. But that's simply just not in my future right now. It's kind of pathetic to say you can't afford $10 a month, but I can't justify it for not watching ads. Not when it's waiting 5 seconds and hitting skip
Crest.
is still an option.
Easy left, very long.
And if anything, YouTube has announced that they're going to make
Easy right into,
the
easy left
unskippable
long.
ads a thing of the past, and however they implement that will be interesting, so that you
60
never
through
run
building,
into
120
those
uphill.
few ads where you have to sit there for the full
Crest
30
into, medium
seconds.
left, very long, cambered. Keep in.
Some YouTube channels, particularly if you start watching 4 or 5 videos from the same YouTube channel and they give you unskippable ads,
Medium right
I can
into.
pretty much guarantee you that they've
Open
they've
hairpin right.
intentionally done that, and they only allow unskippable ads,
Crest.
which is very
Easy
annoying
right.
and insulting to
Easy
your
left.
viewers.
Big jump into.
Taking
Under
away
bridge, medium
an
left,
option that
100.
would have been there for them. Also, I've noticed that some YouTubers, particularly when YouTube Red started,
60.
decided to triple or quadruple the amount of ad breaks they have in the middle of their videos. You may notice that there are never any ad breaks in the middle of my videos, at least for now, and probably never will be, because I find that incredibly annoying. And every single statistic anywhere says that if you do an ad break in the middle of your video, a good percentage of people will leave your video and never come back. And my number one goal is for people to watch all of my videos. I ask people to do that every single ending of my recordings. And I don't want to do anything to encourage people to leave if I can avoid it.
Medium right, open. 80.
So,
Medium right, tighten. Under bridge.
yeah.
40. Over big
So I
jump.
do ads at the beginning,
40.
and that's it.
Easy right. Easy
One
left.
ad, that's all I ask. If you have YouTube Red, you won't see any
Crest.
ads.
Medium left. Keep
Uh,
in. Cambered.
If you're watching it on the PC, you may see pop-up
Medium
ads
left
instead. Not pop-up windows, but banner ads. And ads on the side of
Medium right.
the
very
web
long.
page.
Keep in.
I don't believe you're supposed to see a
120
full ad
downhill through building. 80.
and then see a banner ad, but maybe you will actually see that. It
40.
would explain why sometimes
Medium left.
people that claim copyright on my videos also stop the videos from being viewed on
Easy right.
mobile
very long.
devices and TV sets because they
Crest.
don't want,
Jump.
they want more ad revenue
Crest.
perhaps.
Jump. 40. Medium right. Keep in. Cambered. Medium left long. 80.
And here we go, keep on racing. So there was,
Medium right. Keep
for
in.
this head-to-head tournament, there's 2 rounds of 3-rounded
Finish.
knockout
Over crest.
competitions. If that makes any sense, and I'm sure it doesn't. There's 2 sections in which you have to go 3 rounds to knock out all 8 characters or 6 people. Which is going to make this longer than I wish it would have been. I thought I might just get away with 1 or maybe 2 races in total. Look at what we're doing here, though. We're literally doing the same track 3 times in a row. And
120
we are
downhill through building.
doing the same track in the same orientation.
Medium right. Open.
Practically for each round.
Medium right. Tighten. Under bridge. 40. Over
So,
big jump.
the first set of
40.
3
Easy
races
right. Easy left.
was one direction, and now the second set of directions is the other direction.
Crest. Medium
The
left. Keep
second
in.
3
Cambered.
races are all the other direction.
Medium left long.
And this is
100.
incredibly silly and incredibly repetitive to race down the same track 6 times in a row. How could they have even thought this would have been fun? Even if this is really what you do in rally racing, you can't. You're gonna have to make it more of a video game. This isn't fun to do the same thing over and over again. If I was the video game producer here, what I would say is put a story in it, use a lot of flashbacks and flash forwards. Make it so we at least vary up the races back so they're not back to back. Now I know that's exactly the opposite of what rally car racing is about. You're supposed to learn the tracks and get better and better and do the same race over and over again. But that just doesn't work for a video game mentality.
Don't forget you can upload that race footage to YouTube if you think it's good enough.
Assume this was Super Mario Brothers and I just played the final level of Super Mario Brothers and I beat Bowser. It would be ridiculous for the game to say, well, play that final level again and see if you can do it a little bit better. And then after I do it the second time and do potentially play a little bit better, it tells me, well, play it again and see if you can do it a little bit better. And then after I do that, it goes, well, how about you play it now, but this time we'll flip the screen so you run to the left side instead of the right side. And then do that 2 more times. It's the definition of repetitive. And repetition equals boredom in my head. And I'm willing to overlook a lot of repetition. My Skyrim series recently aired. It should be over by now. But in Skyrim, incredibly repetitive game. Incredibly repetitive. Particularly when you're doing the alchemy and the smithing and just searching general caves. You're fighting the same enemies over and over again. And I was able to overlook most of that without complaining. But I can't do that with this game. Because that's all this game is. Maybe what they should have done is had a very short season 1 experience and then go on the credits and said you've won, and then have a season 2 that cuts it down. But frankly, at the end of the day, some of these races needed to be left on the chopping room floor. That we didn't need them all. We needed accelerated, sped up experiences. If I want to do the same race over and over again, there should be some option somewhere around here. And I guess maybe that's the issue, is there actually isn't a choose your own racetrack mode in the single player. There's no practice mode. So anything that you might want to practice has been turned into its own race. So we've got 2 more of those. Let's see. Let's just come back here and look. Dirt Tour. No, single player is here. And so if I wanted to do a single race, you could do Rallycross, Trailblazer, Gymkhana, and Landrush, and head-to-head. So any of those are available. And then Finland, Kenya, Michigan, Monte Carlo, Norway, Finland, Kenya, Monte Carlo. Why is Monaco not listed here, I wonder? And then Rallycross has Aspen, LA Coliseum, Monaco, Shibuya, Smelter. So Rallycross, Rally and Rallycross places don't cross. And then Trailblazers, Finland, Kenya, Michigan, Norway. And then Gymkhana is LA Coliseum, Monaco. And that's it. Man, the screen, it just moves all over the place. It is motion sickening. Landrush Smelter or Aspen? Head to head, Monaco, Aspen, Smelter. Seems like you're very, very much transferred. And here's the problem. Here's the deal. Kenya has Mwanda, Taeda Hills, Mawateti, Tavete, Crocodile Points, Wewinda Climb, Tavaso, German Rice. I'm surprised there are that many racetracks actually here. And then you can pick any of the groups of cars. I suppose you actually pick your car, and then you can do several different things, but conditions are limited. You can't even make it rain in Kenya, which, I mean, you would think that would be easy enough to do, and you can't make it snow in some areas. Why not have those options? And let's just see what the time trial options are. Seems like you're limited again. So yeah, I'm very, very confused. If there is a single player, then why is practically every single option that you could ever think of in the single player also handed to you in DiRT Tour? Why not just make DiRT Tour more simpler? Why not get rid of this, or unlock this a lot later, or unlock this at the beginning as a break, and then get rid of all of these? Why? And these things don't even unlock anything. Every time I get a first place on this, it doesn't do anything at all. It has no reason to exist at all. Color me confused. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.